Hello friends, in this video we are going to learn about time of supply. Section 12 deals with time of supply of goods, not services, goods only. So the time of supply means when we are speaking about time, when will the supply be levied with GST? It is the time on which liability to pay GST arises. So we are speaking about liability to pay GST. We are not speaking about paying GST. We are speaking about the liability when the liability arises to pay the GST. Okay. Time to pay GST is obviously 20th of following month, which we all know because GST are 3B. When you file, it is the 20th of next month. So time of supply has to be considered for following: forward charge, reverse charge, voucher, charge for a delayed payment, and other or residual purposes. So forward charge. The time of supply of goods is the earliest of date of issue of invoice or the last date on which invoice should have been issued or the date of receipt of advance or payment. So date of receipt of advance, which earlier was there, right? So that is scrapped as of this date. So GST is not applicable on advances under GST. GST in advance is payable at the time of issue of invoice. So this is the notification which was issued in 2017, notification number 66. They said GST is not applicable on advances. So therefore, when the last installment you receive on the payment, that is what is the time of supply of the goods, and that is when the time of supply of goods for forward charge is applicable. Section 12 of 2. Next, reverse charge. In case of reverse charges, time of supply of goods is the earliest of these three things: date of receipt of goods or date of payment. In case of date of payment, there are these two things: date of entry, either date of entry in the books or date of debit in the bank account, whichever is available with you. We are going to consider that. Then the date following expiry of 30 days from the date of invoice. So date following expiry of 30 days means 31st day from the date of invoice. That is what is the time of supply we are going to consider in case of reverse charge, right? In case of vouchers, vouchers are covered. Covered supply is identifiable at the time of issue. Time of supply will be the date of issue of that voucher. For example, if the voucher is issued or used for same or known cause, that is pizza voucher or garments voucher, then the time of supply will be the date of issue of that voucher. For example, you have taken a pizza, and suppose you have taken pizza on an offer of 50% on the next purchase. So whatever 50% voucher that you have got, that voucher will be the date of issue of next pizza. Hope you have understood. Now covered supply is not identifiable at the time of issue. This is the example of covered supply because you are receiving voucher for known cause, like pizza voucher you have got. We really know that with the same voucher you are going to purchase pizza in the next time. Or garments voucher, with the same voucher you are going to purchase the next time the garments only. But there are some vouchers where we do not know what we are going to do with that voucher. Like you have Flipkart 50% voucher. Example, you have Flipkart's 50% voucher. You purchase anything on Flipkart, you will get 50% off. So that will be a supply, that will be a voucher which is not a covered supply. Hope you have understood, right? So time of supply in this case will be the date of redemption of that voucher, right? So this is in case of voucher. Charge for a delayed payment. For a delayed payment, how do you consider it? So interest will be included. So time of supply will be the date of actual payment when it is received. Now there are some notes in case of delayed payment. If interest is waived, obviously there will be no GST. Time of supply of goods and time of supply of interest can be different. Please understand this. Goods can be supplied earlier and interest can be charged later. how the interest is charged? Because supply goods can be supplied today, and you can make payment on these supply of goods within 30 months, within next 30 months. If you do not pay within next 30 months, 10% will be the interest per day we are going to charge. If this is the case, then interest will be charged later, right? So if this interest is waived, then no GST. If the interest is calculated, then we have to calculate the rate of GST in this formula, right? So interest is considered as inclusive of GST. It is always calculated as this is a formula: interest into rate of GST divided by 100 plus rate of GST, right? In one of the classes in future, we will try to understand this formula with practical examples, right? So the residual or other cases, in any other case where a person is liable to pay GST, the time of supply shall be the date of filing of GST return. In any other case other than these four that we have spoken about. So if you are unable to guess what is the time of supply, then GST return date will be considered as final date. If not liable to file GST return, then date of payment is time of supply, right? Now please understand the last date on which invoice should be issued. Section 31. Supply with number of moment of goods supply with no moment of goods, OTC supply, over the counter supply, obviously that will be the last date, or at the time, or at or before the time of delivery of goods, that will be the supply time of supply for such goods. Or supply with moment of goods, if there is moment is allowed, then home delivery will be done, that will be the time of supply, or at or before the time of removal of the goods, that is what we are going to consider. See, we are here learning about the invoices which are issued under section 31. When we are speaking about time of supply, I will go back to the previous slides so that you will understand. We are speaking about date of issue of invoice, right? So what is the date of issue of invoice? When the invoice is issued, it is given in the section 31. That is what we are going to learn here. We are learning here in the section 31 when the issue of invoice will be done. So if there is no moment of goods, like you are supplying the land itself, then over the counter supply, or at or before the time of delivery of goods, we are going to consider. If moment of goods is involved, then home delivery obviously, or at or before the time of removal of goods from the premises, from the business premises. If you are removing goods today, then today is the date of invoice. If you are removing goods after 3 months, then that will be the date of invoice. What will be the in case of continuous supply? Be that your electricity, be that your gas through pipes, be that any other supplies for long-term construction. So at or before the time of issue of periodic statement we are going to consider, or the date of payment. Earlier of these two we are going to consider in the case of previous continuous supply. Now sale on approval, at or before the date of approval, or 6 months from the date of removal of the goods. Earlier of these two we are going to consider as the date of invoice, right? So the time of supply of goods will be, here is an example. See, an assessee sold goods of rupees 1000 on 1st June. On 1st June, goods were sold of rupees 1000. Advance of rupees 300 received on same date. On 1st June, advance is received. Goods were issued on 10th June. Right? Payment for above transaction was received on 20th June. So these are the examples given, right? Now what will be the time of supply of goods? It is the 1st June. Why 1st June? Because sold goods in previous chart we have learnt here. See, moment of goods is available, then before or the time of supply of goods are being done, right? Hope you have understood. Now the time of supply of services. Mr. A provides services worth rupees 20,000 to Mr. B on 1st January. The invoice was issued on 28th January. The payment for the same was received on 1st of February. Now these are the examples. Please listen. In the present case, we need to first check if the invoice was issued within the prescribed time. Now, what is the prescribed time? The prescribed time is within the 13 days, 31st day, right? So the 31st January we are going to consider. Invoice was issued on 20th of January. See, invoice was issued on 20th of January. This means that the invoice was issued within the prescribed time limit, right? So the time of supply is obviously the date of invoice, right? So 20th of January. Now, time of supply of services. Mr. A provides services worth rupees 20,000 to Mr. B. I hope this is done, right? It is done. Sorry. Time of supply of services, section 13. Time of supply has to be considered for following: forward charge and reverse charge. For services, these are the only two things that we are going to learn. For time of supply of services, similar to goods for the following case. For these three things, there are similar things, right? For vouchers, charge for a delayed payment and other or residual. There is a note: time of supply of provision shall not be affected by any unforeseen events or contingencies, incidents, or any disputes. So if there is any dispute, then time of supply will not be considered, right? Now, forward charge in case of services. If invoice is issued within the prescribed time limit, that is 30 days from the date of issue of invoice, please understand this. So time of supply of services is the earliest of date of issue of invoice or date of receipt of advance or payment. So this advance obviously is not there now, therefore date of issue of invoice is considered. Now, if the invoice is not issued within the prescribed time limit, then the time of supply of services is the earliest of date of provision of services or service completion. The date of receipt of advance or payment we are going to consider. Hope this is understood. If it is not issued, then the earliest of these two: date of provision of services, if you are giving the services, that date, or the receipt of advance. Now, for the banks, NBFCs and insurance entities, 45 days period will be counted, not the 30 days. Only for the banks, NBFCs and insurance entities, 45 days we are going to consider and not 30 days, because they involve a lot of financial transactions every day, right? So it is advised for the service suppliers to issue invoices within the prescribed time limit. And in case of reverse charge, the time of supply of service receiver is the earliest of date of payment of services only. Day following 60th day, that is 61st day from the date of issue of invoice, we are going to consider 61st day. Import of services from associated enterprises is the earliest of date of payment of services only. Indian entity that entries in the books of accounts, that is what we are going to consider. In any other cases, then there are two options. Excess payment can be treated as advance. If it is more than 1,000, we are going to consider as an advance, otherwise not. Time of supply shall be the next date of next invoice. If you are using 2,000 excess payment, then obviously in the next payment you are going to adjust it, and that will be the time of supply for the next supplies. So hope you have understood the time of supply. If you have not understood, please comment below the video, so that we will have a discussion on this part. See you in the next video. Thank you.